evening and welcome to the 859th meeting, Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, of the regular meeting of the City of Laurel Historic District Commission. Excuse me. The qualification of the members of the commission, the staff to the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the city and are hereby made a part of each and every application heard today. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made a part of each and every application. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. I failed to state my name. I'm Margie McSeany. When you speak, please state your name for the record. Brooke, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole.
Present.
Ms. McSeany.
Present.
Ms. Snyder. You're muted.
Present.
Ms. Frazier.
Present.
Ms. Les. Muted.
Brooke, we can hardly hear you.
Ms. Les.
Present.
Mr. Schweitzer.
Here, but you're very low in volume.
Okay, I just turned it up.
There you go.
Mr. Davis.
Present.
You have a quorum, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you. I would also like to remind participants to keep themselves muted unless they're speaking. You can click mute and then just press the space bar if you're using a computer to unmute yourself while you speak. Agenda item number 2, approval of the minutes for the regular HDC meeting held March 21st, 2023. Is there any discussion? Any motion to approve?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion. I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you,
This
Ms.
is-
Snyder.
This is Marlene Frazier. I second that motion.
Thank you, Brooke. We have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Snyder.
Yes.
Ms. Frazier.
Yes.
Councilmember Cole.
Yes.
Ms. McSeany.
Yes.
Ms. Les.
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3, HDC 2023-0089 for 31 4th Street. Would staff like to present the application?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair and Commission members. This is Emily Klein-Gibson, Planner 1 with ECD, presenting the staff report. The applicant is seeking Historic District Commission approval to replace a portion of the roof on a property located at 31 4th Street. The proposed roof will replace the existing flat roof located over the extension of the house on the northern rear side. The proposed roof will be pitched shape and will have architectural shingles in slate gray color, which matches the rest of the house roofing. Staff recommends that HDC approve certificate number 2023-0089. This concludes my report, and the applicant, Mr. Underwood, is available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Underwood, and submitting your application. It looks nice. Are there any questions for Mr. Underwood?
Madam Chairwoman, this is Commissioner Patrick Davis. I would like to make a motion to approve HDC 2023-0089 as presented.
This is Councilmember Cole. I second that motion.
Brooke, we have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 4, HDC 2023-0090 for 407 Montgomery Street. The applicant is seeking to have a fence installed. Staff, would you like to present your report?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair and fellow commission members. This is Joshua Mitchum, ECD planner. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to install approximately 178 feet of 42-inch tall fencing on the right and left sides of the property for the purposes of enclosing the backyard space. The proposed fence style is Charleston Picket with Cedar Pickets, and the left side yard is proposed to have a 4-foot center gate, and the right side yard is proposed to have an 8-foot double gate. Staff recommends that the HDC approve certificate number 2023-0090, and I believe the applicant, Ms. Whitfield, is available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your application, Ms. Whitfield.
Been a long time coming. Thank you.
So there is, I gather, fence along the rear of your property?
Yes, there is.
Okay. That was really my only question. Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
The picture that we're looking, I'm sorry, Gail Snyder. The picture that we're looking at of the fence, is that somewhere else, or is that yours?
Oh, that's mine. That's my house, and there's a picture of the gate on that document that you have.
So then, this is being installed somewhere else?
No, it's at my house.
So it's already been installed?
No, this is an application so that I can install it.
Okay, okay.
So this is Miss McSinney. So the photograph with the gate with the heart is the kind of gate you're going to have, but the fencing is going to be what's on the screen right now.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the fence that's pictured is just showing the type of fence that it will be, not an actual fence on my property.
Okay.
Right. No, I understand that.
Okay,
It was just, I think there was a difference between the fencing and the gate. The gate has no spaces in between and it's got that heart in it.
This is Mr. Schweitzer. Are you going to leave it natural wood or paint it white?
it's gonna stay natural.
Okay.
Any other questions? concerns?
I'm sorry, Gail Snyder, is this is in the back of the house?
Yes, so it's actually going down from the back of the house back to the back fence that's already there. So if you look at the picture there, the square is the house and the lines that go to the back are the fence. And there will be a gate on both sides. On the left side, there's that one single gate to go to the back, and on the right side is a double gate so that the lawnmowers can get through.
I like the gate. I think it's very nice.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam Chairwoman, this is Councilmember Cole. I make a motion that we approve PC 2023-0090 for 407 Montgomery Street.
This is Mr. Switzer. I second it.
Brooke, we have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Mr. Switzer,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder. I think you're muted.
Sorry, yes.
Thank you. Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Enjoy your new fence. Are you getting a dog?
Well, I have a dog. I'd like to be
Oh.
able to let her out back.
Okay. Well, enjoy. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Agenda item number 5, HDC 2023-0091 for 605 Montgomery Street. The applicant is seeking approval for a new roof. Staff, would you like to present your report?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair and fellow commission members. This is again Josh Mitchell, ECD staff. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace the current roof and gutters of the property located at 605 Montgomery Street. The applicant is proposing to replace the existing roof from a 3-tab style to an architectural style in a grayish brown color similar to the existing shingles. Furthermore, the applicant is proposing to replace the existing gutters with aluminum 5-inch gutters in white color. Staff recommends that the HDC approve certificate number 2023-0091. And I'm checking the list now. I'm not sure if the applicant is on the line, but if so, he can chime in. Thank you.
Any questions?
I would like to make a motion. This is Marlene Frazier, that HDC 2023-0091 be approved.
Mary Eileen, I second.
Thank you, Brooke. We have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Switzer,
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is HDC 2023-0095 for 401 Prince George Street. Applicant is to approve the removal of a tree. Staff like to present their report?
Yes, good evening again, Madam Chair and fellow commission members. This is again Joshua Mitchell, ECD staff. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to remove one holly tree from the rear yard of the property located at 401 Prince George Street. The applicant states that the trees are not diseased or dying, and the trees that are proposed to be removed, or the tree that is proposed to be removed, is not on the city's current champion tree list. Staff recommends that the HDC approve certificate number HDC 2023-0095. And the applicant, Ms. Blankenship, I do not see her on the call. Oh, no. Oh, wait, no, I don't. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
Gail Snyder here. I have a question for Mr. Mitchum. It looks like a very healthy tree. I don't really understand why we would take it down?
So there is thank you for your question. There are currently no guidelines to remove trees or prevent trees from being removed that are not on the champion tree list. I don't see, I checked the champion tree list and it doesn't have any guidelines regarding that. So I'm not really sure about the veracity of the city to be able to prevent the applicant from doing that.
Excuse
But
me,
I
this is,
really don't understand the reason.
The applicant, if she was on, is Ms. Blankenship, is she on the line right now? I'm trying to check. She mentioned to me in communication, it kind of seemed to be a bit of a nuisance on the property for getting around things, but as far as I know, there's not really any stated reason beyond wanting to take it down. So that's kind of all I have for that.
This
Hi,
is
this
Mrs.
is Frazier.
Gail.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gail.
No, I don't think you want to hear what I have to say. Go ahead, Marlene.
I have a point of clarification. Is this one tree or two trees?
It is one tree. There may be a previous draft that said 2 trees, but we had clarified that it is one holly tree.
So it's only the one in the front?
Yeah, it's in the front.
It is.
Yeah, it's on the
that must have been
side.
that must have been the one that originally said when there was 2. Yes, the existing one would be in the front.
Well, that's her backyard, which is next to 4th Street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks
is it-
like we're looking at the bank, so it's,
Yeah, there's the
Yes,
bank.
it's
So
on the
it's in her
side.
backyard.
It's
So
on
it's
the,
the-
it's on
Okay,
the side, the 4th Street side.
Yeah, it's right
Now-
next to Mary Eileen, right?
Yeah, and I want to make a comment. That tree's been taken down.
It's
Last
already
week.
down?
that's been taken down?
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
already been
last
taken
week.
down?
Yes,
Oh
the
wow.
holly tree?
yep. And the willow tree. That got
Hmm.
pre-approved.
This is Councilman Cole. Yeah, to tag on to what Mary Eileen said, I think the tree was approved 2 meetings ago, the willow.
Yes,
And I
and
think
that's down,
That was a
and-
staff approval.
right. And
Yeah.
this one was taken down last week.
Okay, yeah, staff was not made aware of that at all. So
Mr.
Um,
Mitchell is correct, though. The HDC guidelines do not prevent the trees being taken down. I am working on revisions for those. So I don't think there's anything we can do to prevent this tree from coming down.
to my
this is
knowledge,
Snyder, probably not, Mr. Cole, but I would say that as much work that is being done on this house, that I think there needs to be more, not approvals, but we need to know more what's going on, and they should bring more of this to our attention. I mean, Mr. Mitchum, did you know that the tree had already been taken down?
no, this is new to staff. We have not received any reports or any indications that this was taken down. No.
I just don't think this is the way that we need to continue. Just my opinion.
I think there's an issue too with the roof. That there were changes from what was applied for.
This is Miss McSeany. I believe in her application for a new roof on her main house. We approved that for a nice new red metal roof. But she also had that put on her, I don't know what you want to call it, her
Little
annex
house.
building. I'm sorry, what did you say, Ms. Les?
We call it the little house.
Okay, her little house.
Uh-huh.
The new metal roof was also put on there. She added 2 skylights that are visible from 4th Street. She added at least 1 window to the front of the building. None of that came to us. And that was all done last week. and it was reported through the My Laurel app. And it's a done deal.
Well, Madam Chairman, I'm sorry, this is Gail Snyder. I believe that, Mr. Mitchum, maybe we can keep a closer look on this house and the work that's being done.
Yeah, I can refer that to code enforcement when they're doing their
I don't know
patrol.
why, I don't know why we're sitting here talking about it if it's all being done before it comes to us.
Well, yeah, we didn't know that it was done before us, but what I can do is I can let code enforcement know to,
Right.
when they do their patrols, just to, keep an eye on it. We can do that. Yes, ma'am.
That would be great.
So this is Ms. McSaney. I don't know, I guess I don't know if we want to approve this or not approve it.
What does it matter?
It doesn't
Exactly.
matter, right? Mhm.
I
Is
mean,
Mr. Love?
I'm sorry, Madam Chairman. But Mr. Mitchum, what happens when this occurs and things are being done without approvals?
So what happens if we receive a complaint about unapproved work being done in a historic district? If it's if it's in process, code enforcement can issue a stop work order for them to get the application in to get the approval. If it's done after the fact, there could be fines assessed. I believe Brooke can also speak to the loss of tax credits if that was in the running. But not complying with HDC guidelines does impart a municipal infraction. So there could be fines assessed for that.
And a letter could be sent to the owner of the property now that we know what's going on as a warning, so that if work continues, we can find them.
Okay, so this is Miss McSaney. So I reported this last week. My mother lives behind this property, so we came home and there was the new roof going up on the little house. And it was going up very, very quickly. And, I looked and I thought, well, those skylights are new from the last time I looked. And, by the time I took the picture, the roof was finished because it goes up so quickly. So there are no comments in the My Laurel app. It just says resolved.
Madam Chair, this is Deputy Director Monte Burrows. We would definitely get on top of that if it came out this week. We do apologize if you believe it was delay in responding, but definitely we would get on and do our research and investigation by the end of the week to ensure and even contact the applicant and owner of this property to make sure what was done, and then we'll go back in our own records for HDC to make sure that what she has done has not or has been approved. But we'll definitely by the end of the week get on top of this issue and make sure and ensure that we will update and the My Civic. So we do apologize for the delay, but I just want to make sure that we are on the same page. Now you guys can vote tonight if you deny this, but we're just giving recommendations. So I just want to make sure, all the other stuff that you did mention, we will research. We just want to make sure tonight, vote if you deny or approve this application as is to remove this tree. Thank you.
The tree's not coming back.
No.
Yes.
Madam Chairman? Madam Chairman, this is Gail Snyder. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Burrow, I'd like to suggest that before we go any further, we'd like to get a list of everything that they're going to do to this house in the future, so we'll know what to look for. Would that be possible?
If I believe your question is, anything that is done, hopefully we would get a heads up on. But we do have applicants that do work, and we do not find any, we don't find that it's done until afterwards. But if we do
I
have
already
information,
know that that's what's happening with this property.
yes, ma'am, we would definitely do our research and investigate and contact them and see if any fines can accrue because of doing work without specifying to our planner what they had already done.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
This is Councilmember Cole. I have a question. for staff. Do you know if any landscape plans have been submitted? Sometimes in these applications, they will indicate whether or not the plants will be replaced with something else. Has that been indicated?
This is Miss McSaney. I haven't seen any of that. It is my understanding she plans to change the landscape. There are a number of plants you may have noticed that seem to be a bit close to the house, plants that get large, shrubbery and small trees that are awfully close to the house or awfully close to the fence. But it's my understanding she's planning to re-landscape.
Thank you. One further question. If we deny the application, does that mean the tax credit doesn't apply, or do we approve it without the tax credit option? I don't know if landscape even qualifies for the tax credit.
It's not.
It doesn't qualify.
Thank you. With that, if the tree's already down, I would motion that we approve HDC 2023-0095 with the caveat that staff will look into the issues that were brought up tonight.
This is Miss McSaney. It, not that we set precedents. In the past, it has usually been encouraged that when a tree is removed, another tree is planted in the yard. We are a tree city. Could we add that to the motion to approve?
I'm willing to add that substantial landscaping to replace the tree be added with approval from staff or from the HDC.
This is Commissioner Patrick Davis. I'll second that motion with the recommendations.
Thank you, Brooke. We have a motion to approve with the amendment of added landscaping and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Excuse me, Brooke, I think you forgot Mr. Davis.
I think he's second.
Yeah, he's second.
Okay. Thank you. Item number 7, HDC 2023-0099 for 512 Main Street. The applicant is seeking to replace front windows and door on Main Street.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commission members. This is Emily Klein Gibson, Planner 1 with ECD, presenting the staff report. The applicant is seeking Historic District Commission approval to replace the existing front door and window on a property located at 512 Main Street. For the front door, the applicant proposes to replace the existing green-colored wooden door with a bronze-colored metal door. The proposed door will be the same size and full light style as the existing door. The proposed door will swing outward. For the window, the applicant proposes to replace the existing window located to the left of the front door. The proposed window will be made of double pane insulated glass and will be the same style as the existing window. Staff recommends that HDC approve certificate number 2023-0099. This concludes my report, and the applicant, Mr. Ishma, is available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being on the line, Mr. Hishmi.
My pleasure. I'm always here.
Any questions, comment, discussion?
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Cole. Councilmember Cole, I move that we approve HDC 2023-0099 for 512 Main Street as presented.
Mary Eileen, I second.
Thank you. Brooke, we have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing the new windows. All right, item number 8, tax credit request for 710 Montgomery Street, submitted by Mr. Nichols. The roof looks lovely. Thank you. I love a slate roof. Any questions or comments?
I move that, this is Marlene Frazier. I move that we approve the request for HDC 2022-0106 for the tax credit.
This was Commissioner Davis. I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Brooke. We have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes, and Judge Nichols, I'm glad to hear you've got all your ducks in a row.
I'm very rule oriented.
I think we're.
I got some questions before we get out of here, though. I replaced the hedge. Did I? I didn't think I needed permission to do that. I mean, it's coming out again now, and I know the tree thing was an issue. Apparently, hedges don't count.
This is Miss McSinney. I don't think so.
Okay.
It's rather vague, like
Gotcha.
major landscaping, which, you know, your hedge was fairly major around your house, but it didn't look that great. So I thought it was nice to see it go. You know, a hedge is kind of tough to maintain sometimes. So you're good.
I didn't want to fall adrift of the rules here.
Wait.
While we're talking, I had another roof leak on the back, and I'm waiting for the bill. I mean, it was just pouring water in the back end of the house, and I had to have it done that day. And it's not a big piece, but it's same kind, same stuff on the back.
Okay.
And finding a roofer to do slate was dreaming the impossible dream. And he was nice enough to come back out in a rainstorm to figure out where the roof leak was coming from. So as soon as I get a bill, I'll get that to you, but I didn't ask in advance because I just didn't have time to do it, since it was pouring in the back room of this place.
That's understandable.
Thank you all.
Excuse me, Brooke, did we finish calling the roll?
No, we didn't, I don't think.
Brooke, could you continue? We ended with Ms. Snyder.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. And so was your leak fixed?
The back part was fixed, same color, same stuff,
Okay, well,
which was hard to find. You
my
know,
next
I
door
don't know how much,
neighbor spent probably a year trying to find the source of a leak in his new roof, and that was just, asphalt shingles, so consider yourself lucky.
this is like the money pit since it was built in 1892. In any event, thank you
I
all very much.
understand. Thank you for coming.
Okey-doke, next time,
All right, have a good night.
I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later.
Okay, thank you. All right, on to staff approvals. There were 3. Any questions? Okay, if not, I have another question for staff. So if we see a violation taking place, how realistic is it, do you think, for an inspector to show up?
Madam Chair, it's very realistic. The thing is, when we get those, it filters down. Sometimes it goes to various departments before it comes to us. But if it directly comes to us, we definitely try our best to get within probably 2 or 3 days or even the end of the week to verify information. So I don't, we definitely try to get on top of the My Civics, or if we do get a complaint, we definitely do before the week's out to investigate. So again, I know you had asked earlier, we do regret that it happened, but we definitely try to get on top of those as soon as possible.
Okay, so I guess my concern is, other than flipping a house, almost everything, all of our issues can, it takes half a day, maybe not even, for these changes to be made. So, your thought that getting somewhere in a couple of days, being very quick, is really not quick when, a roofer shows up in the morning and puts a new roof on the house by 3:30 in the afternoon. It's a done deal.
Madam Chair, to be fair, we do have other works that we do have, and then we do try our best. But I just want to really understand that portion. We do our best to, when we do get the complaint, because sometimes we may not see the complaint that day. So it does filter to various departments, as I said before, but I don't want to make it seem like it's not a priority. It's very much. And when we do see those in My Civic, we get that alert. We definitely start the clock right then. But I just want others to understand and be sensitive to us that when we get to it, we do try to get to it as fast as we can. And sometimes it may not be the same speed that you would like it, but we definitely try to get on top of it as soon as we can.
Right. No, I understand that you have other things to do, and I'm not suggesting that you are at fault in this. It is, I'm just trying to understand what the process is, because it seems to me that something needs to change, and it's not on you to change it, because you don't get the note. You don't know. We have no control over when you are notified. I'm just trying to understand the process. And it seems.
Can I just add something too?
Sure.
So, when we get the complaint, 90% of the time we're sending it off to code enforcement. And, they might already be out on the field. They're not going to get the notification till they come back in the office. And then by then it might be later in the day, because they usually leave a little bit earlier than we do. So there's multiple people involved. It's not like we are going out, stopping the work or writing the correction order. We have to let code enforcement know to do it. And they're in a completely different department.
Okay, so that's, I'm trying to understand how this works.
Right.
So thank you.
Yep.
So it goes, and if we put it in the My Laurel app, it goes somewhere and then it goes to code enforcement and they can't get it until the end of the day. Is that correct?
I mean, they're in and out of the office, but depending on how busy they are, they may not get it until they're back in the afternoon. So
Okay.
it's not like they're on a call or a walkie-talkie getting these things right away. It's just not that fast, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay,
Um,
that,
I'd like to say something. On one or two occasions, I reported something and the message later is it's been resolved, but indeed it had not. So I'm not sure what's going on.
If you get a message like that, you can contact staff and ask for details. You
Okay.
know, we could say, you know, there was no violation found or there was already an approval for the work.
And board member Marlene, and sometimes when it mentions resolve, we have spoken to the applicant and they have clarified it, or we have gone out on a lot of occasion, and that can be a result that we put in resolve.
So
Okay,
we
this-
should, so we should contact staff to determine what resolved means. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. I know there's an issue on Prince George Street in the 300 block right now that's pretty bad.
Excuse me, Madam Chair,
yes.
this is Greg Schweitzer. I've been asked by a couple of neighbors to bring up again 615 Prince George Street. I'm sorry, 612, my fault. 612. The gentleman has the 4x4s across.
Well, I
front
know
of his
the
house.
house of which you,
I'm sorry?
I know what house you're talking about. Have you reported it in the My Laurel app?
I brought it up several meetings ago and it was going to be referred to permits.
Okay, I don't recall that I thought the discussion was it needs to be reported in the My Laurel app.
Okay. I can take that route.
And you can, you know, your neighbors can, your concerned neighbors can use the My Laurel app and they can submit it anonymously if they want, and they still, you know, can track it if that's a concern. Because I know of one instance where a neighbor turned someone in for some huge violations, more building code than HDC, and it was not anonymous, and
Right.
the homeowner found out about it. So the app allows these things to be anonymous if anyone is concerned.
All right. I'll seek it out.
Thank you. Is there anything else?
Yes, when it's something like windows or paint or roofs, what choice should we make as far as to whom we are sending this message in the My Laurel app?
Ms. Fraser, I've asked that question in the past and it just depends. That you can submit it one way, and if it's not the right one, they'll send it the right way. So until the app is clear or we get some clarification, which I don't
I
know,
think-
is there a way to clarify?
If I could add, I think what you want to select would be zoning and code issues.
In code, thank you.
Mhm.
That helps.
Anything else?
Madam Chairman, I wasn't exactly clear on the house at 401 Prince George Street, where I thought they said what was being done had not been approved. Is that
So-
correct?
So some of the work at 401 Prince George was approved. The work, the new roof on the main house was approved. No, I don't think any of the work on the little house was approved.
Well, are we to assume there will not be any tax credit for that? The work that was not approved?
Oh, correct. I mean, so if someone does work without approval and then is told you did this without approval, and that homeowner fills out the paperwork to apply for permission after the fact, we can give them a 5% tax credit instead of a 10% tax credit. We do not have to. I would be a little surprised if this particular homeowner applies for a tax credit. I don't know. But we will vote on that if and when she does.
So if she does, the only thing that's gonna matter is you won't get the tax credit.
I believe so.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn, perhaps?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. It was nice to have a full house. And we'll see you in May. Thank you.
Good night.
Night.